Hello, sports lovers. A warm welcome to the most authoritative sports and channel here on social media. This is your boy Matt. Today's episode is going to focus on Boston cash cow Saul Canelo Alvarez, who also doubles as the unified super middleweight champion, who recently granted fighthype.com an interview, and he stated categorically in that interview reasons why he doesn't want to step into the squared circle with David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. Let's have a listen to what Saul Canelo Alvarez said. Then I'll come back and give you my take.
The way he talk, he think he's Superman, right? And he is very disrespect, not just with me, with everybody. And he's accomplished nothing. He's not even a champion. And he's not even in my weight class already. And, it's a lot of things there doesn't make sense. And plus, at this point in my career, I can do whatever I want.
Thank you for sticking glued. Now, Saul Canelo Alvarez stated disrespect. I think that is a very invalid excuse or reason Saul Canelo Alvarez has in order not to take a fight, because after all, the two of you are going to hit each other. And it's not as if David Benavidez went on a personal attack. David Benavidez challenged you in public domain several times and said you did not want the fight because you were scared of losing. It was a reasonable deduction in which David Benavidez was making, because why would I be your number one contender for over 3 years and will not get the opportunity, whilst others who are ranked below me are getting that opportunity against you? It just tells me that you don't want to fight me because you are afraid of the skill in which I possess. And that even goes to affirm that, because at the latter part of the interview, when Saul Canelo Alvarez was asked what he thinks of David Benavidez, he said, a great fighter. That means that you acknowledge that he is that good and he can give you a run for your money. And you can only become the best in your generation or the greatest of all time when you have been in the ring with several people who are regarded as such. And David Benavidez is one person who has been regarded as one of the best of this modern generation. It doesn't matter how I rate him or not, or it doesn't matter if I personally think you would win or not, but I think that rightfully David Benavidez deserves a title shot against Saul Canelo Alvarez, because we have had people who do not even merit the opportunity by being so obedient to Saul Canelo Alvarez. They have gotten this particular fight. And this is a guy who is a blue chip fighter, whom you know that a win over him would cement your legacy not just as the best Mexican fighter in the history of the world, but one of the greatest of all time, or put you in a pound for pound top 10 position. So why are you denying him the opportunity? I think that the respect aspect is very flavorless and cannot stand the test of time. Saul Canelo Alvarez sees that David Benavidez has the skills in order to cause him problems, not even if not to him beat him. David Benavidez has the skill enough to cause him problem, and Saul Canelo Alvarez feels at the stage at which he has gotten to in his career, he doesn't need that kind of opportunity. Saul Canelo Alvarez also later stated that he takes the fight he wants, and that is that some kind of entitlement. A boxer's a boxer's greatness must not be limited to at a point in time. A boxer's legacy or greatness must be throughout his career. Until you hang off your gloves, you must keep fighting the best and keep putting your name in the history books of boxing as one of the greatest to ever do it. The reason why the likes of Muhammad Ali are regarded as one of the best is that they fought all comers. And you, Saul Canelo Alvarez, is saying that you have gotten to a stage where you choose who you fight, not necessarily fighting the best. And I think that this is some of the things in which individuals do in order to bring down the sports of boxing. Because when it comes to soccer, when it comes to NBA, the best are made to fight the best. Why should boxing be an exception? So I think that the level of entitlement for Saul Canelo Alvarez is becoming too much. You can say that you have fought a lot of fights and you need a break, so you just need a warm-up fight, then you come back to the top. But for you to decide that, nah, as at this stage, I'm going to fight whoever I like, and even if the person would not be as great, or the fight will not be as great, so far as I want to fight him, that is what I'm going to do. And that level of entitlement should not be tolerated from any boxer. And I think that for Saul Canelo to have an excellent, he has a very, very good resume, but for him to be in the conversation with the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali, he needs to fight all comers. Because the likes of Lennox Lewis did it, the likes of Evander Holyfield, they fought everybody. And that is the level of at which Saul Canelo Alvarez should be performed, because even in recent times, we've had the likes of Inoue and Alexander the Cat Usyk, Terence Crawford facing every challenge that is in front of them. And I think that it is just fair for Saul Canelo Alvarez to do so and forget about what he has done in the past. Whatever you have accomplished in the past is great, but there is always room for greatness. That is why anytime I'm ending my video, I state categorically, there is no limit to greatness. So you can keep on piling on greatness and piling on greatness. When you hang off your gloves, you will then be in the conversation as the best of all time, or one of the best of all time. But how you are ending your career, it's not speaking so for you, Saul Canelo Alvarez. There's always a high standard to maintain, especially when you happen to be the face of boxing, or the one who often drives the conversation around this particular sport. I think that Saul Canelo Alvarez needs to maintain a high standards, that is, keep on fighting the best and not going for mediocre fighters. Some would say that Saul Canelo Alvarez is doing this because he has all the three key things David Benavidez has been dreaming of. He has the world title belts, in which David Benavidez has been dreaming of. He would give David Benavidez his career high payday, and he would give David Benavidez that mega star name recognition on his record. So it is something he needs to protect, and David Benavidez must come bowing. No, I think that David Benavidez must not come bowing, because David Benavidez himself has achieved some sort of goodness for himself. Two-time world champion without losing it in the ring. If he, Canelo, also beats that person, then that is also good for him, because he would have taken an O from the likes of Billy Joe Saunders, then Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. All these are people who were undefeated, blue chip fighters, and you have beaten them whilst they were undefeated. That goes to tell something about you, Canelo. So that is also what Benavidez also brings on board. He brings on a legacy. It may be little, but it is part of his legacy. And when you combine all those little legacies in which Saul Canelo you have snatched, it becomes a great one. And that is why you, Saul Canelo, you need to be yearning to fight David Benavidez. I am of the personal view that Saul Canelo beats David Benavidez, but we need to see it. It is not about assumption. We need to see it whilst we can. You don't wait for David Benavidez to become very, very accustomed to the light heavyweight division. Then you make him calm down and give him the opportunity, knowing very well that he will not be at his best as at that time. That would be very, very unfair, and that would not go a long way to boost your resume, like you stated. So, if I'm Saul Canelo Alvarez, I would entertain the David Benavidez fight in the 4-fight deals with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Thank you for watching. This is my take on the Saul Canelo Alvarez stating that David Benavidez has disrespected him and he doesn't need to fight him. Thank you. Stay positive. Remember, your greatness has no limits.